Blessings to you, beautiful soul. Welcome to Angel's message for you. Right now, at this very moment, before you even take your next breath, the angels want you to know that you were guided here on purpose. This message was meant for your eyes and your heart alone. Something deep inside you already knows this is not a coincidence. You were pulled here by a force greater than anything you can see. So take a slow, gentle breath. Settle in. Let your shoulders drop. Let your heart soften. And please, stay with me all the way through this message, because what I am about to share with you has the power to completely transform the way you see your life, your love, and everything that has been quietly, invisibly unfolding around you. Don't go anywhere. What you are about to hear is the message your soul has been waiting for. Something is coming your way. Something so real, so full of divine intention, so carefully prepared by heaven itself, that your soul is going to feel it before your mind can even begin to understand it. And I was sent here today, guided here with purpose to prepare you for it. Because love this powerful, love this sacred, deserves to be received by a heart that is open, ready, and awake to what is truly happening. You are a dear one. Heaven watches over every step you take. And right now, at this very moment, the most powerful and beautiful act of love that has ever been prepared for you in your entire lifetime is already in motion. Not someday far away, not eventually. Right now, the wheels are already turning. The path is already being cleared. And the person meant to walk it toward you is already being guided, step by step, by something far greater than human will. The greatest expression of love, one that doesn't come around twice in a single lifetime, is being shaped and prepared just for you. And it is not coming from a random place or from a casual feeling. It is coming from a soul that was woven together with yours long before either of you fully understood why. This person does not just feel love for you. They are being moved by something that goes far beyond ordinary human emotion. A divine force, a heavenly current, is quietly guiding every thought, every decision, every step they take. And all of it is pointing straight in your direction. And here is what makes this so extraordinary. This has nothing to do with impressing the world. It is not about appearances or what looks right from the outside. This is entirely, completely, and deeply about reaching you, about touching the truest, most vulnerable part of who you are, about making sure that you specifically feel what it means to be loved with everything. Right now, even if your days feel ordinary, even if your routine feels the same as it always does, even if the surface of your life looks completely unchanged, something enormous is happening in the world you cannot yet see. Behind the scenes of your everyday existence, heaven is moving pieces into place with such precision, such care, and such love that when it all becomes visible to your eyes, you are going to look back over the road that brought you here and realize, with absolute certainty, that not one single moment was wasted. Not one single experience was without purpose. Every quiet prayer you whispered when the room was empty and no one else was listening. Every tear that slipped down your face in the darkness when you thought no one saw. Every single time you held on to hope even when it made no logical sense at all. Every bit of that was heard. Every bit of that was honored. And every bit of that is being answered right now, in this very season of your life. The love that is heading your way is not fragile. It is not uncertain. It is not here to test you again or leave you confused or keep you up at night wondering where you stand. It is here to stay. It is being guided and sustained by something that cannot be stopped. Something that has been building beneath the surface for a very long time, quietly growing stronger, and can no longer remain hidden. The time for it to become real has come, and nothing, not distance, not time, not fear, not the world's noise, can prevent what heaven has already decided. This person has been thinking about you, not casually, not in passing. They have been thinking about you deeply, constantly, with the kind of feeling that rises up unexpectedly in the middle of quiet moments. In the space between one thought and the next. In the silence of the night when everything else falls away. You have been living inside their heart like a light that simply refuses to go out. No matter how much time passed. No matter what else was happening in their life. No matter how much they may have tried to push the feeling aside, you remained. Present. Real. Undeniable. And now something has shifted inside them in a way that cannot be reversed. A clarity has arrived that wasn't there before. It is as though heaven reached into the center of their heart and gently, carefully removed every doubt, every fear, every wall that was keeping them from walking fully and freely toward you. What remains after all of that has been cleared away is something pure, something honest, something true. What remains is love, the kind of love that makes a person stop what they are doing, take a breath, and say with their whole being, enough waiting. The time is now. This person is being guided to you, not by coincidence, not by impulse or a sudden mood, by divine purpose. There is an invisible thread, sacred and unbreakable, that has connected the two of you for longer than either of you realizes. And right now, that thread is being drawn tighter by the hands of something holy, something neither of you planned, something neither of you could have arranged on your own. This is bigger than both of you, and it is moving exactly as heaven intends. You may have walked through seasons where love felt like something that belonged to other people. Seasons where you quietly wondered if you were asking for too much, if real and lasting love was something you were actually allowed to have. Seasons where disappointment settled into your chest and made a home there, heavy and familiar. But listen closely to what I am about to say, because it matters more than almost anything else you will hear today. None of that was the end of your story. Every single one of those chapters was preparation. And now the preparation is complete. Every door that closed on you built your wisdom. Every goodbye that hurt more than you expected refined your understanding of what you truly need and deserve. Every moment you spent alone, even the ones that felt unbearable, deepened your capacity to receive something real when it finally arrives. You did not lose time. You were being shaped. You were being made ready. And now, the person you have grown into through all of that is exactly who this love has been waiting for. Heaven showed me something about you that moved me deeply. Even through all of it, through every hard season, every disappointment, every moment your faith was stretched nearly to its breaking point, you kept going. You kept a small light burning inside you. Maybe it flickered. Maybe there were days it almost went out entirely. But you never fully let it die. You never completely surrendered your belief that something beautiful was still possible for you. And that light, that quiet, stubborn, breathtaking flame you kept alive inside your heart, is exactly what called this love forward. It summoned it. It said to heaven, I am still here. I am still open. I am still worthy. And heaven heard every word. What is being prepared is not a surface-level gesture. It is not something done out of habit or routine or obligation. It is a genuine, deeply heartfelt act that will reach the quietest and most tender parts of you, the parts you rarely show anyone, the parts that have been waiting the longest to be truly seen and truly recognized. And when it arrives, you will not need anyone to explain it to you or convince you it is real. You will simply know. Every part of your being will go still and say, this is it. This is the thing I was waiting for. This is what real feels like. The signs are already beginning to surface around you. Even now, You may start noticing things that feel like more than coincidence. A familiar warmth moving through your chest for no obvious reason. A song playing that stirs something deep and ancient inside you. A dream that stays with you long after you wake. A quiet knowing that something in the air has shifted, that the world around you feels slightly different than it did before. Like the moment just before sunrise when the sky hasn't changed yet but something in the atmosphere already has. Do not brush these things aside. Do not explain them away. These are not accidents. These are messages. These are heaven's way of whispering gently to your spirit. Get ready. Open up. What you have been waiting for is so much closer than you think. This person is not coming to you with confusion or half-hearted feelings. They are not coming to leave you guessing or keep you in the painful in-between of not knowing where you stand. The deep inner work has already been done within them. The doubts have already been faced and released. The fears that once held them back are dissolving one by one under the quiet power of something greater. What is approaching you now is someone who has made a clear, conscious, wholehearted choice, and that choice is you. Not because circumstances forced it, not because there was no other option, but because, in the full light of everything available to them, they kept returning to you, over and over again, and now they understand why. There is a moment approaching, and it may arrive in the most unexpected and unassuming of ways, where everything will suddenly click into place, where the feeling in the air will shift in a way you cannot explain but cannot deny, where you will look at this person and something deep and ancient inside you will recognize them, not just as someone you have known, but as someone your soul has always known. The way you recognize a place you have never been to in your physical life but that feels, inexplicably, like home. When that moment comes, I want you to do one important thing. Stay open. Do not let the memory of old wounds cause you to close the door on something true. Do not let the voice of past disappointments convince you that this is too beautiful to be real, too good to last, too much to trust. Because the healing that this love carries is not accidental. Heaven chose this person not just to bring joy into your everyday life, but to reach the places inside you that still quietly ache. The walls you built because you had to, the guards you kept in place because staying protected felt safer than risking more pain. This love is arriving with the gentleness to soften all of that, not through force, not through pressure or demand, simply through genuine presence, through honest and consistent action, and through the calm, steady certainty of someone who truly, completely, and unconditionally sees you. You will feel it when they look at you. There will be no pretending in their eyes, no performance, no distance. You will feel it in the way they show up, in the small details they remember about you, things you may have mentioned only once, things you may have forgotten you ever said, because to them everything about you was worth paying attention to. You will feel it in the effort behind what they do and the intention behind why they do it. Not to impress you, not to earn you or win you like a prize, but simply because you matter to them in a way that goes beyond anything they have been able to fully explain, even to themselves. Dear one, this is not just a love story arriving in your life. This is a healing. This is a homecoming. This is heaven delivering the answer to every quiet prayer you ever sent up with a heart too exhausted to speak above a whisper. And it is being delivered with precision, with care, and with the full force of divine love behind it. What is being offered to you is not built on perfect circumstances or perfect timing or everything being in ideal condition. It is built on truth. It is built on two people, both shaped and refined by everything they have lived through, finally arriving at the same place at the same time with the same readiness, with the same openness to say, I choose this. I choose you, not despite everything, because of everything, I want you to sit with something for a moment. Think about how much you have grown through everything you have lived. Think about how much more patient you are than you used to be. How much more self-aware. How much more grounded in what truly matters. The person you are right now, standing at this exact point in your journey, has a depth that earlier versions of you were still in the process of developing. You earned that depth. You earned it through the hard seasons and the lonely nights and the moments that asked everything of you. And it is this version of you, the one shaped and strengthened by all of that, who is about to be met by a love that matches your depth completely. This is not a love that will ask you to make yourself smaller so someone else can feel comfortable. It is not a love that will leave you second-guessing your own worth or counting the hours between messages wondering if you matter. It is a love that will look at every part of you, every beautiful, complicated, scarred, radiant, imperfect part, and say yes. This, exactly this. I want all of it. You do not have to be perfect for this. Heaven is not asking for perfection. Heaven is asking for openness. Just a willingness to receive. Just the courage to let something real in. And you have that, even if part of you is afraid. Even if the part of you that has been protecting itself for so long barely remembers what it feels like to fully trust. That willingness is enough. That small, persistent flame of hope you never fully extinguished. It is more than enough. It is the very thing that made all of this possible. The time of waiting is ending. Not because you pushed or forced or chased, but because heaven decided the season had come. Because all the pieces moved carefully and purposefully across the landscape of both your lives over a long period of time, have finally arrived at the right alignment. And when divine timing moves into action, nothing in this world has the power to stop it. Something deep in you already knows this. That is exactly why this message found its way to you today. You were brought here to be prepared, so that when love arrives, and it is arriving, you will not be startled by it. You will not be caught off guard or too guarded to let it in. You will recognize it. You will welcome it. You will open your arms and your heart and allow it to land exactly where it was always meant to land, with you. In the days ahead, pay close attention to the world around you. Stay present in a way you may not have been allowing yourself to be lately. There is something about this season that is asking you to slow down just enough to notice what is real. So many of us move through our days at such a pace that we miss the most meaningful things. The small shifts, the quiet moments, the gentle nudges from heaven that say, "Look here, pay attention, something is happening." This is one of those seasons for you. This is the season where heaven is asking you to be a little more awake, a little more aware, a little more tuned in to the language of signs and feelings and subtle movements in the air around you. Because that is exactly where this love is going to first make itself known to you. Not in a shout, but in a whisper. Not in a storm, but in a stillness. So slow down, stay present, and notice the small things, because love does not always make a grand, loud entrance. Often it arrives quietly, in a glance that holds a fraction of a second longer than usual. In a gesture so simple it could easily go unnoticed. In the way someone says your name. In the unexpected message that comes on a day when you needed it most without even telling anyone you needed it. In an action taken not because it was required, but because someone thought of you and acted on that thought. These are the moments. These are the signs. And they are already beginning. Your soulmate is not coming to reopen old wounds or replay old patterns. That chapter is closed. The story moving toward you now is a new one, written with different ink, in a steadier hand, with a clearer vision of what love is supposed to look and feel like. They are coming to build something with you, something with a solid foundation, something honest and consistent and grounded in real mutual care. A connection where trust is not just hoped for but demonstrated, one genuine action at a time. A relationship where you can be fully and completely yourself, without the performance, without the armor, without the constant quiet fear of being too much or not enough, and still be chosen. Every single day. That is what is being prepared. That is what is moving toward you right now. And here is something I need you to hold close and carry with you long after this message ends. You deserve this, not because you are without flaws or because your journey has been flawless, not because you never doubted or stumbled or lost your way in the dark. You deserve this because you are a soul who kept showing up, who kept choosing life even when life was hard, who kept a candle burning inside for love even when everything outside told you to blow it out and give up. You deserve this because love, real love, heaven-sent love, is not a reward for perfect behavior. It is a gift given freely to those whose hearts remain open enough, brave enough, and willing enough to receive it. And your heart has stayed open, even when staying open cost you something. Even when closing it would have been so much easier and so much safer. That openness is not weakness. That openness is one of the most courageous and sacred things about you. And heaven sees it. And this love, the love that is on its way, sees it too. There is something happening in the spiritual realm right now that I want you to understand fully. Everything is being aligned. Every small detail is being adjusted with divine care to make sure that when this love shows up in your physical reality, it lands in exactly the right way, at exactly the right moment, with exactly the right energy. Nothing is being left to chance. This is not random. This is heaven working on your behalf with the precision of something that has been planned long before you were even aware it was being arranged. Your soulmate is being guided by intuition, by spiritual nudges, by signs that keep appearing along their path and pointing clearly in one direction, toward you. These signs are not being ignored. They are being felt, understood, and honored. The inner resistance that once existed, the doubts, the fears, the hesitation, is dissolving. Certainty is growing in its place, quiet but unshakable, like a seed that has finally broken through the soil and is turning toward the light. There is no going back from this kind of clarity, and this clarity carries your name. You represent something completely unique to this person. You are not just someone they once knew or someone they sometimes think about. You are the emotional place where they feel most fully themselves. The presence in their heart that no amount of time, no change of circumstance, and no other connection has been able to replace or replicate. You are home to them, and they are finally, fully allowing themselves to come home. And because this is not an impulsive decision but a deeply mature and conscious one, what you are about to receive will carry a weight and a richness that you will feel in the very center of your being. It will not be shallow. It will not be fleeting. It will be full. It will be present. It will be the kind of experience that you look back on years from now and say, that was the moment everything changed. That was the day love became real to me in a way it never had been before. Let me tell you what heaven showed me about what is coming for you. There is a gesture being prepared, not an ordinary one. Something personal, something that required thought and care and the courage to set pride completely aside. Something that will make it undeniably clear to you that you were remembered in the details. That the small things you thought went unnoticed were actually treasured and held close. This moment is not being crafted to look impressive to others. It is being crafted entirely for you. Every single element of it has been shaped by the desire to reach you, to truly move you, to make sure that you walk away from it knowing, really knowing, how deeply and sincerely you are loved. You may have experienced gestures before that looked right on the surface but felt hollow underneath. You have known the difference between love that performs and love that is real. And what is coming is the real kind. You will feel it in your chest before your brain has a chance to process it. Your soul will recognize the intention behind it instantly. And in that moment of recognition, something inside you that has been braced and guarded and quietly waiting for confirmation will finally, peacefully, let go. There is healing wrapped up in what is coming to you. Heaven placed it there on purpose. Because the love about to enter your life is not just meant to bring happiness, though it will bring more happiness than you have allowed yourself to imagine in a very long time. It is also meant to reach the tender places inside you that still carry the echoes of old pain. The places where past words still sometimes ring. The places where absences left marks that never fully healed. The places where you learned to hold your needs quietly because asking for what you truly wanted seemed to lead to disappointment. This love is arriving with the exact tenderness needed to reach those places. Not to rip anything open violently or force you through a process you are not ready for, but to gently, consistently, day by day, through presence and honesty and care, show you that you are safe now. That the storm has passed, that the love you always believed in but were sometimes afraid to reach for, is here, is real, is standing right at the edge of your everyday life, waiting for the moment to step fully in. Heaven showed me that this person is being used as an instrument of restoration in your life. They may not fully understand the spiritual weight of what they are carrying or the depth of what their love is going to mean to your healing journey. But heaven understands it completely, and every detail of this arrival has been orchestrated with that understanding in mind. You will not just feel loved by this person. You will feel repaired. You will feel the specific kind of tenderness that lands on the exact wound that needed it most. You will hear the kind of words, spoken in the right tone, at the right moment, that dissolve something inside you that has been rigid for too long. You will experience the specific quality of presence that tells your nervous system, finally, that it can stop being on guard, that it can rest, that the danger has passed and something good has taken its place. You will notice the difference immediately. It will not feel like the connections that left you unsure of yourself. It will not ask you to manage someone else's uncertainty at the cost of your own peace. It will feel like rest, like being able to breathe all the way in for the first time in a long time, like setting down a weight you did not even realize you had been carrying because you had grown so used to the feeling of it. That is what real love does. It does not add to your burden. It meets you in the middle of it. And this love is going to meet you right where you are, scars and all, questions and all, imperfections and all, and choose you anyway. Choose you intentionally. Choose you every single day. In the coming days, you may begin to sense a shift in the energy around you before anything is visible. You might notice that you feel lighter without knowing why, that your thoughts are a little gentler with you than they have been, that you wake up with a feeling of quiet anticipation you cannot quite name. Pay attention to those feelings. They are real. They are your spirit responding to what is approaching. They are your heart beginning to recognize, before your eyes can confirm it, that something true and beautiful is on its way. You might also notice this person appearing in your thoughts more frequently than usual. Seemingly random moments in your day may carry a trace of their energy. You might hear something or see something that makes you think of them for no obvious reason. These are not random. They are the universe's way of preparing you, of tuning you to the same frequency so that when the moment comes, you are both vibrating at the same truth. You are both ready. You are both open. And the connection happens naturally, powerfully, and with a depth that surprises even you. Do not let fear steal this from you. I want to say that clearly and directly because I know that fear is real. I know that when you have been through enough, when enough things that seemed promising eventually disappointed, the heart develops a kind of protective reflex. It braces. It waits for the catch. It prepares for the floor to drop out from under it again. It asks, but what if this hurts too? What if I open up and it turns out to be something that leaves me more broken than before? And I understand that. Heaven understands that. Every angel that watches over you understands that. Your caution is not a flaw. Your guardedness is not a character weakness. It is what a heart does when it has been through enough to know that not everything that looks like love actually is love. Your discernment was earned. And I want you to know that what is coming has been prepared with your specific fears in mind. This person is not going to charge in recklessly and demand that you trust them before they have earned it. They are going to earn it, steadily, honestly, through consistent presence and genuine care. Through showing up when it would have been easier not to. Through choosing you quietly and persistently until the evidence of their love becomes impossible to doubt. And as the evidence accumulates, as the consistency builds, as the truth of this love reveals itself more fully day by day, you will find that the fear begins to loosen its grip on you. Not all at once, not in a single dramatic moment, but gently, gradually, like ice slowly melting in warmth, until one day you realize that the bracing you have been doing, the holding your breath, the waiting for things to fall apart, has been replaced by something you barely recognized at first because it had been so long since you felt it. Peace. Real, settled, unshakable peace. The kind that comes when the heart finally knows it is safe. Your only job right now is to stay open, to let yourself hope, to let yourself believe, even if it is just a little, even if the belief is small and fragile and mixed with uncertainty, that this time could be different. Because it is different. Because heaven is behind it this time in a way it has not been before. Because everything that needed to be aligned has been aligned. Because both of you have been shaped by everything you have lived into the exact people who can offer each other what was always needed. And that is not something that happens by accident. That is something heaven engineers with the patience of eternity and the precision of love. Every moment of your journey that felt hard, every season that stretched your endurance past what you thought you had, was quietly doing something essential inside you. It was removing things that were not meant to stay. It was expanding your capacity for something greater. It was writing the specific story that prepared you for this specific love. You did not walk through all of that for nothing. You walked through all of that for this. So take a deep breath right now, a real one. Let it fill you all the way down. And as you exhale, let it carry with it any remaining doubt, any leftover fear, any voice that says you are too much or not enough or too late or too damaged or too complicated for something this beautiful. Let all of that go with your breath. Release it consciously. Make the decision right now, in this moment, in this space, with these words still resting in your heart, that you are done carrying what was never yours to carry. The shame of things that were not your fault. The identity of someone who was not chosen. The story that said love was for other people and you would always be on the outside looking in. None of that is true. None of that is who you are. And none of it is coming with you into the chapter that is opening up for you right now. Because what is coming requires room. It requires a heart that is not so full of yesterday that there is no space for today. And heaven is asking you right now to make that space. To clear out what no longer belongs. To let the weight go. Because what is coming for you is steady. What is coming for you is sincere. What is coming for you is the kind of love that does not keep score and does not create confusion and does not ask you to earn something that was always freely and completely yours. It is the kind of love that says, I see you, I really see you, and I am staying. This is the moment, dear one, where your story turns. Not in some far-off future. Now, in this season, in these coming days and weeks when the seeds that heaven has been planting begin to push through the surface and become something you can finally see and feel and touch with your own hands. When it comes, and it is coming, let yourself live it fully. Do not spend the experience half inside it and half watching it from a cautious distance, waiting for it to fall apart. Do not protect yourself so thoroughly that you cannot actually feel it. Heaven is not giving you this gift so that you can observe it safely from behind glass. It is giving you this gift so that you can live it, breathe it, be held by it. Allow yourself to be loved all the way down to the places that have never been reached before. You have waited with such quiet dignity. You have carried your hope like something sacred even when no one around you seemed to understand why you still believed. You have shown up for life even on the days when life did not seem to be showing up for you. And now heaven is showing up for you. In the most personal, most intentional, most beautifully designed way possible. The greatest act of love in your entire life is on its way. It will reach you in a way that no previous experience has. You will be loved with courage and tenderness and soul. You will be loved with presence, actual, consistent, committed presence. And your heart will recognize it. Not just emotionally, spiritually. Something ancient in you will say, this is what I have been waiting for. This is what I always knew was real. This is the love that was always mine. Keep this message close. Return to it on the days when doubt creeps back in. Return to it when the waiting feels long again or when the voice of fear tries to convince you that none of this is real. Because it is real. Every word spoken here comes from a place of divine truth, delivered with love, meant specifically for you in this specific season of your life. Heaven does not waste words, and heaven does not bring a message like this to someone who is not standing at the precise threshold of something extraordinary. You are at that threshold right now. You are standing right at the edge of the most beautiful chapter your heart has ever entered. And all you have to do, the only thing heaven is asking of you, is take one small step forward. Not in fear, not in desperation, just in faith. Just in the simple, quiet decision to believe that you are worthy of this, that it is real, that it is coming, and that you are ready. You are never alone. You are watched over by forces of love and light that never sleep and never stop working on your behalf. Your guardian angels are with you right now as you read these words. They are standing close, surrounding you with a warmth that goes beyond what the physical world can offer. They see your heart, all of it, every hidden corner, every tender place, every hope you have been quietly carrying. They know your full story, every chapter of it, the joyful ones and the painful ones and the long quiet ones where nothing seemed to happen but everything was actually being prepared. And it was those angels, your angels, who led you here today, because this message was always meant to find you. It was placed in your path with intention, guided to your eyes at exactly the right moment, because you are standing at a turning point and heaven wanted you to know it. Heaven wanted you to walk into what is coming with your eyes open and your heart ready, not stumbling into it by accident, but stepping into it with the full awareness of someone who knows they are loved, knows they are worthy, and knows that what is approaching is real. May every blessing of heaven rest gently and abundantly upon you today and in every day that follows. May peace be your constant companion as you move through this season. May clarity light your path so that you never miss the signs heaven places lovingly in front of you. May courage fill your heart just when you need it most. And may the love that is coming to you, real, deep, divinely guided love, find you exactly as you are, open, worthy, ready, and shining with the quiet, beautiful light of everything you have survived and everything you have become. You are loved beyond measure, dear one, by heaven, by the angels who watch over you, and by the one who is right now, even in this moment, being guided across the invisible distance that still separates you, moving toward you with every intention of making sure you know, beyond any shadow of doubt, just how deeply and truly and completely you are loved. The time is now. The love is real, and it is yours. Every single beautiful, sacred, heaven-sent piece of it belongs to you. Go receive it with an open heart. Amen.